Yo, what's up guys? This is BunnyMuffins. Today we are going to be playing Vel'Koz. So I released a Vel'Koz guide. People are probably still wondering, how do I play Vel'Koz? How do I use the guide? Well, I'm gonna literally follow it step by step and you'll see the power of the guide. So essentially, like, I've never played Vel'Koz before, and I had one of the coaches in my Discord and in my website make a guide for Vel'Koz. So he did it and I'm gonna be following it, and I've never played Vel'Koz before. He's not coaching, he didn't coach me or anything in this game. We're just gonna follow it like to a T and just see what happens. So right off the bat, I go for a rod. So if we look at the guide and we look at the carousel priority, you'll see that rod is at the top. So I just went for that. In this early game, we see a bunch of brawlers. I'm just gonna grab them, and guess what is part of the brawler start? The brawler start is with assassins because we have the Gragas 2-star, hopefully, and then we just add in a Kha'Zix. We could also play Legionnaire, which is Aatrox plus Callista, where Callista is the item holder. And there are like 4 other variations. You guys can check that all out. I'm not going to say it all here because you guys already either 1, watch the video, or 2, can go to my website, bunnymuffins.lol, to get all the latest guides for that. So here we get another Warwick. So it's like, for sure, we're probably doing some sort of brawler start because we have 4 of them. We could also go Thresh Nautilus to get a night start, but you know, we'll see what happens. We get more gold. We get a chain vest, all fine and dandy. We're going to buy this Thresh, and let's see what we hit here. So we hit a Kha'Zix and a LeBlanc, so that is perfect. And you guys might be wondering, like, wow, you hit something that showed up on like one of the pictures in the guide. Like, how lucky of you. But dude, there are 6 of them, so like in your game, like, you might not hit one of the 6 every time, but I guarantee you, or more often than not, you will be hitting one of those. So just try to aim for one of them because they're pretty strong starts. This dude did his research and he plays a lot of Vel'Koz, and that's what he does in most of his games. And of course, there are ones that are like really like super flex that can be played into other comps as well, and you could go for those too and then go into Vel'Koz later. It's all fine and dandy. These are just one of the recommended ones if you are not too familiar with how to play Vel'Koz. So here I have the assassin start. LeBlanc's gonna be my item holder. I could even use Katarina if I get her later. And here we are able to sneak out a win, which is really nice. I actually didn't expect to win that round because we did not build an item and we are all 1-star. But I think after this armory, we'll be able to win streak, which is why I built those items in the first place. So best in slot items for Vel'Koz, they are, looking at the guide, because I forgot off the top of my head, they are Spear Shojin, Hextech Gunblade, and Jeweled Gauntlet. So with that in mind, I should probably take the Tier, or the Negatron is actually fine as well. So with that in mind, Tier or Negatron are both fine. I know Tier builds the Shojin, but since we have an armor already and I want to slam an item right away to keep up our win streak, then you'll notice that the next most important items to build after the Vel'Koz items are all the tank items, and Gargoyle Stoneplate, one of the best options. So I just opt to build that instead for my early game because, again, I have pretty strong brawlers in the front. They're both 2-star, and yeah, that's just one of the things you could go for. And especially early game, the Shadow Gargoyle, since it heals like 70% health per person attacking him, it ends up being a ton in the early game. So yeah, we just build that. Hopefully we can win streak with it and then get the Vel'Koz items eventually. We already have a lot of the pieces for it. We have 2 rods, so that means we have Gunblade and Jeweled Gauntlet already taken care of. But yeah, tank items for your 2-stars always going to be great in the early game. And we killed this brand, so we get a nice win there. So here we could start considering going for a streak, and we're going to try to do that as best as we can. So I keep the Aatrox on my bench before, just in case I hit a Callista. Maybe I use Callista still. But Aatrox is probably going to go. Maybe I could play him at level 5. Or I could sell off the Aatrox and the Vayne for interest. I think both plays work, honestly. So if you do end up wanting to keep the Aatrox to play in the next turn, just because he's a 2-star unit, you want a pre-level here, so I went ahead and did that already. But if you aren't, just sell him and the Vayne to get to 10 gold and make interest that way. Again, both plays are fine. I don't really think one is like that much better than the other. But it's just something to consider. So if you are win streaking, I prefer to have something to put in whenever I level up. So I don't want to just put in a naked synergy, or sorry, a naked unit on level 5. That's just a 1-star. So I'd rather it be 2-star. So I lose the 1 gold of interest there, but I hopefully gain like more gold of win streak by doing that. So here we are, last pick. Unlucky because, well, all these items, they're not the items that I listed before. So we wanted a Tier, a glove, and a sword, or 2 swords, and we got none of them. So we just grab a Negatron. We'll just build another defensive item later on. Negatron I like a little more because you're able to build, what's that item called? Chalice of Harmony or Chalice of Malice. Both are really good on Vel'Koz to support him. And so I just keep those in the back of my hand. So here we're able to do a Katarina play where we have 3 Forgotten with the Assassin still. And since we don't have Jeweled Gauntlet built, we don't need to actually play the LeBlanc quite yet. So this guy, he did not build any items, but he does have a Varus 2 with 3 redeemed, 2 2-stars. It actually is a little scary. I think we'll be able to pull this off just because we have the item built. And before Warwick jumped, like he was getting focused, so I think he did heal a lot. I just realized Gargoyle Stoneplate is not good on Warwick because he jumps around, so I probably should have put it on Gragas. It's something to learn to figure out in the future. So, or not figure out, to keep in mind in the future. So we sell the LeBlanc, we make interest, and we could just find a new item holder for these 2 rods. It honestly could just be Katarina because she makes great use of all the items that would have been used on Vel'Koz anyways. So we could put 1 rod on Katarina, 1 rod on Vayne if we really want to maximize the usage of the rod, because we're probably going to sell Vayne once we get a makeable item with that rod. Honestly, since the Vayne can be any Forgotten unit, it literally could be just anything. So if we look at the guide and we go to the Assassin start in the beginning, you'll see that I do make a note. If you get a Katarina during stage 2, this board is insanely strong with 3 Forgotten being addable at level 5. And LeBlanc is a great item holder right before that. So that's literally what happened this game. I'm literally just following the guide. And yeah, you should probably be doing that because some dude figured this out for us. And you're going to be able to climb if you just follow it. There's not much else to say there. I don't know what else to add. So if you guys are interested in more guides in the future, I'm going to be making at least 1 a week, if not 2, since it's the beginning of the set. You definitely want to be subscribed because you'll get notifications on all those team comps, and you'll probably get to know them before everyone else gets to know them. So you could learn them earlier than everyone else and take advantage of them for longer, which is pretty valuable in TFT because a lot of things are very meta dependent, and sometimes things are like hidden OP for quite a while before they're actually discovered. So yeah, like just subscribe if like that's of interest to you. You don't have to though, like you don't have to win in TFT. So we got a glove, which is really nice. So that's going to build a Shadow Jeweled Gauntlet, not Shadow, just a regular Jeweled Gauntlet. And we will be adding this second Katarina for sure, or sorry, buying her. And then, yeah, we can mess with some Leona for some redeemed later. So yeah, Shadow JG, you can put it on Vayne because it's like it's not that great on her anymore. Yeah, now that I think about it, I probably should have put it on Cat. So mistake number 1 already, it's fine, whatever. Sometimes when I play, I like autopilot, so it's like Vayne in the last patch was really good with Jeweled Gauntlet, but they changed the interaction on it, so I'm not sure if it's that great anymore. It still crits on her spell, but I guess the change was for Shadow Jeweled Gauntlet, so maybe it doesn't matter at all. Maybe it's still fine on her. Not really too sure, but it would be really good on Cat, because Cat does a lot of damage early. Like, she would have killed that Soraka if she had the Jeweled Gauntlet, but I didn't have it on her. Okay, but we killed the Lysandra anyways, we get a nice win. And here we're going into stage 3-2, and what do we do at stage 3-2? Oh, if we look at the leveling section, we should level up if we can keep 30 gold. And we should also roll if we need to stabilize from a loss streak or to maintain our win streak. So I get the tier there for Spear of Shojin, the armor's kind of useless. And then here, obviously level up, we are 52 gold, so plus 12 to level up, and we should just be level 6. So you'll also notice that we found the Syndra there. So I do want to fit in the redeems somehow because we have 2-star Aatrox. So I think I'm going to put all the items on Syndra instead of the Katarina, just because I think Syndra's a better unit to scale into the late game because I can run the redeemed and then swap the items over to Vel'Koz once I find him. Wow, I don't know what happened to me this game, but I did not level up. I did not listen to the guide. Okay, like I must have been asleep or something at the wheel. I have no idea, guys. But like, there's literally 0 reason to not level up because it's literally on a clean interest interval. Wow, that is so dumb. I don't know what happened, guys. I honestly don't. I literally always level up to level 6 on 3-2, even if I'm not playing this composition. For some reason, I just forgot to this game, and we lost because of it. So we lost our win streak. So wow, big doo-doo there. Don't do that. Don't do that in your games. It's okay. It's just TFT, guys, at the end of the day. We do get a 2-star Leona. We'll end up playing that. And yeah, I think we just end up leveling up anyways. It's like, oh God, that feels so bad. But like, you know, sometimes things just happen. Like mistakes will happen. We just lost like probably like 6 to 10 gold from that. over a couple of rounds if we keep win streaking. This guy's bored. He's level 5, so we're definitely going to win this, even though he has a Yasuo 2-star. If you're level 5, doesn't matter that you have a Mordekaiser, doesn't matter that you have a Yasuo 2-star. You need to be level 6 after stage 3 too. I'm really not sure why he didn't level up, because he has a very strong team as well. He probably could have win streaked a lot in this game. Maybe he had like 0 econ all game. I'm not really too sure, but we get a clean win here. So we would have had a theoretical win streak, but you know, we don't. So now we're now we're last pick in carousel without any bonus from it apart from a bunch of health. So again, the items we are looking for are the sword and the tier, I think. Oh no, we already have a tier. So just 2 swords is what we need, because 1 for Shojin, 1 for Gunblade, and that's all we really need to do. So unfortunately, it was on the Lux, so the item completes right there. And second unfortunate thing that happens is that I can't build the Spear of Shojin, and I can't build a Hextech Gunblade, because Hextech Gunblade is useless on Lux because she doesn't do damage. That's why I sell the Syndra so I could build Shojin on the Lux, and then I just slap the Jeweled Gauntlet on Brand. I put the other rod on Brand for good measure, and you could look again in the guide. You might notice that like, oh, this particular variation isn't there, but that's because I just messed up a little bit. Normally you want Varus as your item holder if you're going the redeemed start, but I didn't get a Varus. So I'm just going to try to use Brand, maybe do Spellweavers, maybe do some Abominations. But if you have Abominations or Spellweaver, like I just mentioned, like Brand is a very suitable item holder for that. You pretty much just find any AP carry that you want, because they're going to be able to hold the AP items for Vel'Koz, because, like, I mean, they're both AP. Not really else too sure what to say there. But yeah, Lux with the Shojin isn't the end of the world, because she's going to end up casting a lot. The only awkward part is that we'll need to find a new Lux once we do find the Vel'Koz. All right, so here we're at 63 gold. Let's check on the guide when we want to level up to level 7. Hopefully we don't miss that this time. And level 7, you want to do it on 3-5 if you could hold 30 gold. We were not able to do that last round. And if not, you want to level up on stage 4-1 and roll as needed. We'll just wait till then. In case you guys were curious about how to play other leveling strategies as well, there is a leveling guide that I released, both again on my website and as a video. So whichever format you prefer, it exists in this world. And I go over like how to level up if you're going for a 1-cost carry, 2-cost carry, 3-cost carry, 4-cost, and 5-cost. So it literally works in every meta, whereas a lot of other leveling guides, they only work in like 1 patch, because like people change their carries all the time. So whatever is standard in 1 patch changes really quickly. But since this like new format I made up, I think that's like the best leveling guide format like for that purpose, because it works in every meta. So definitely check that out if you are confused on leveling. We are gonna hit level 7 a little early because we have extra gold. So we'll just level up here, probably play either like Soraka or Katarina. We are missing a Mystic. My bad. Soraka's not a Mystic, so we'll have to find someone else later. So we get a spatula and a glove. Interesting items. So spatula, if we look at the item guide, we can build one of 3 items. We could build Redeemed Spatula, Ironclad Spatula, Cavalier, sorry, one of 4 items, and Spellweaver Spatula. Obviously, you could build Force of Nature as well, but that's a bit of a high roll game. So in this one, Redeem Spat is made with Cloak, so I'm just going to slam that right away. And maybe we could do the 6 Redeem build, because we have 2-star Aatrox and 2-star Leona already. So the Redeem build, it's one of those builds that are really cheap, so you could fill it out really, really quickly. This is one of the comps where you could roll on 7 for Vel'Koz, but since I already have a lot of 2-stars, I have 2-star Lux, Aatrox, and Leona, I don't really need to roll on 7 that badly compared to if I had a lot of 1-stars. So if you are ever in the situation where you have a Vel'Koz 1 and then you still have like Lux 1, Leona 1, Aatrox 1, and like maybe Varus 1, that's when you would roll on 7 for that particular build. But here we could afford to lose a little bit because we are 92 health, so it's not the end of the world that we lost this round. All right, so now onto the new, what's this called again? Armory. No sword. Sword is what we want, so we want to focus on defensive items now. We have a Negatron, we have a belt, so we could go a second Gargoyles. I think we're going to do that. I'd prefer probably the regular Gargoyles, but, you know, whatever. You can't always choose the items that you get in a game. So here we're going to sell the brand. We're going to put in Syndra, can try to play for 6 redeemed. So I'm going to roll a little bit for that. I don't really see anything, though. We do get the Karma, so I could use her as an item holder and just chill from there. Also throw in the Ivern for Invoker. We already have too many Invokers, so I forget Karma's an Invoker. It's okay. So we look at the level 7 comps. We have a lot of different options. We have Redeemed mid-game, we have Renewer mid-game, and we have Abomination mid-game. You could do any version of these. Obviously, some of them have Vel'Koz already, but we don't in this particular scenario, so we can't really play them quite yet. So we're just kind of in this awkward phase where I just couldn't finish my turn, and there are like 10 items on my bench. And I put Jeweled Gauntlet on Rise instead of Karma. Another big mistake there. So I made like maybe like 6 or 7 mistakes this game, but hopefully you are able to avoid those in your games. I've always said that TFT is really easy if there is just no timer in the game. Unfortunately, there is one to make it fair for everyone else. So like mistakes are bound to happen. Even like top 10 challenger players, they make a ton of mistakes every game. They are more minor than the ones you or me make, but you know, that's just how life goes. So we get a 2-star Ivern here, so I definitely want to be playing one of the Ivern variants, and not all of the comps fit Ivern. I think the Redeemed one actually doesn't use Ivern. However, since we have the Spatula, maybe we could still fit it in. Because like if you build Redeemed Spatula, you kind of are like going for the 6 Redeemed because you're always going to run Vel'Koz. Lux is a really good unit, and Rel is a really good unit, and then Syndra is really good as well. So there's like 4 good Redeemed units that you can use, and none of the slots or unit slots are really wasted except for Aatrox and Leona, because those are kind of 2 like garbage units in the late game. Maybe there's a better word than garbage. I'm not really sure. You know, with like PC culture nowadays, you gotta be careful with what insults you use. Times are definitely a lot different, but obviously it's for the better. So look at this double shadowed Gargoyle Stoneplate. Like this Aatrox with 5 redeemed, 5 out of 6 redeemed, 3 out of 4 Invoker is just tanking everything because of the double shadow Gargoyle Stoneplate. Like, Jesus, that item is completely broken, busted. So obviously on this carousel, we want a sword. None of those exist. I'm going to grab a belt because once you get some resistance items, you want to get some health items. So we have 2 resistance items already in the 2 stone plates. So we want to just build a Warmogs just to get more effective HP. And yeah, we'll just slap that on everyone. So yeah, Warmogs plus the 2 stone plates. Like whoever has those items, whether it be Rel, whether it be Garen, they're gonna be hitting pretty hard. We get a Vel'Koz there, which is really nice because that gives us 6 redeemed. I'm gonna swap the Luxes, put in Zyra, sell this Lux, put all the items on what's his name, Vel'Koz, and like the Jeweled Gauntlet and the Shojin, and then drop the Redeem Spat on Taric. Again, like you can find out who to put Redeem Spat on in the guide, and we say either Taric or Garen. They're just really good holders of it. You could probably also do Ivern, but yeah, we have a Taric, so we'll just put it on him for now. And now we get the Vel'Koz. Look at that. He's actually not doing that much damage. I thought he would do more. It looked like he was doing a lot, but the whole enemy team is still alive. Obviously, we still win this because this Aatrox is just tanking everything, but yeah, I thought he'd do a little more damage than what he showed there. So here my eyes automatically go to Draven and Mordekaiser because I've been spamming non-stop Draven, but we're playing Vel'Koz this game, so I'm not going to buy anything here. All right, so we are facing a Vayne abuser, but I don't know if he knows that it got patched out. A lot of people in the first day of a patch, they don't know that some units some unit and item interactions don't work anymore. You know who does know when they work though? The people who are subscribed to my channel, because I release a patch note review every time it comes out or the day before it comes out. And so the people who watch those are always up to date on the meta, and they would know not to build Shadow Jeweled Gauntlet on Vayne. I'm sure it's still an okay item, but you just don't get the huge benefit that people were getting before. So there is an early Teemo, so I could do something like for Invoker. I might be going for too many things right now. Obviously, because I think Teemo's a lot of fun, I'm going to go ahead and buy him. But yeah, 4 Invoker plus 6 redeemed is a little ambitious, I will admit that. All right, so we get, what item? We got some gold and we got a rod. I guess it's just a double Jeweled Gauntlet game, but I could just Jeweled Gauntlet this team. I got another Teemo, dude. I don't know why I got 2 Teemos already, but it's probably just, oh, and the Karma. Okay, wow, that is how you play the video game. So yeah, I guess I have to take out Taric because I want to play 6 redeemed with 4 Invoker. I don't even know if that is good. It seems a little troll, but you know, Teemo's a legendary. What's the worst that can happen? I got a Jeweled Gauntlet for him anyways. So now I got like the Aatrox tank that I need to replace with Rel. Rel is like infinitely better than Aatrox with those items. And yeah, now I got 2 carries. I put them on opposite sides of each other so they don't get hit by the same spells. Notice how the Kennen stunned the Teemo, but my Vel'Koz is uninterrupted. So you always want to spread out carries if you can, unless you're doing like an anti-assassin strat where you put everyone in the same square. You might be wondering, why isn't Vel'Koz in the corner? It's because I'm too lazy to scout for thrushes. So if you know there are no thrushes in the game, put him in the corner. If there might be some thrushes, because especially nowadays, like Draven is being played by so many people, you definitely need to be careful about putting your Vel'Koz in the corner because Thresh is going to CC him every single time. So just look out for that. But if you're too lazy, just put Vel'Koz in the second slot, and you won't get that great of ultimates in most of your fights, but you'll be immune to whatever CC Thresh is throwing out. So it's a give and take. Obviously, it's always optimal to scout, but again, we are gated by the timer in TFT. So here we are going to just pre-level, and we're going to try to hit level 9 really soon. Reason why we want to hit level 9 really soon is because we need some tanks. We could literally use Garen, we could use Volibear, we could use any Mystic, maybe a Kindred would be really nice. So there's just way too many good things to put in right now. We're just kind of just sleeping and waiting until we hit that. Okay, now Vel'Koz is doing some deeps now that he is 2-star. And yeah, just some laser beams. All right, so this shop, okay, we finally got Rel. Man, this Aatrox, he did work. I'll give him that. He did work, but it's time to retire him because, I mean, he's just like a naked legionnaire. You just don't need that in your life, you know? So I could either, I have 2 options here. I could put the items on Leona, and then once I get Garen, sell the Leona and put all the items on Garen, or I could just keep it on Rel the whole game. I think both options are fair. I don't really think you're going to get that punished for doing either decision, but it just depends if you are going for level 9 or staying at level 8. And this game I'm going for level 9, so I do plan on replacing Leona with Garen, and then I think I'm just going to drop 6 redeemed for just better units, because, I mean, legendaries are going to be better than whatever synergy you throw out in most cases, unless they drastically change it in like a future patch. But right now, like all the 6 traits, like they're still good, don't get me wrong, but it's more of like a mid-game thing than a late-game thing. So here we wanted that Gunblade, but someone else took it, unlucky. Maybe we get a Shroud here, Shroud would be really nice. If not, we just get another Gargoyle, you know, we could slap that on the Rel, which we kind of skipped on tank items for. So here, if we level up, we'll have 24 or 26 gold to roll with, so we just go ahead and do that. And pretty much just all in here. Nothing here, we get a Taric there in case we do end up running him, and there's the Garen, we'll drop him in. Sell this Leona. I don't think we need the redeems anymore. I guess since we leveled up, we have an extra slot. But I think eventually, if we get like Taric 2-star, maybe we get a Heimerdinger 2-star, we will end up selling the Leona, the Lux, and probably the Syndra just to put in other units. Oh, never mind. We need Syndra for Invoker, so we need to keep her. So it's probably just Lux and Leona who are going to go. Let's see how our team's doing. So Vel'Koz, not the best ult because I'm not positioned correctly. You might notice in the strengths and weaknesses in the comps that we list out on the website, you'll see that positioning is very important. So if you can position on the wrong side, like you could get drastically punished. Luckily here, we get a lucky Teemo interaction where he wins every single 1v1. But even though Draven was probably going to win that fight, like Teemo does Teemo things, you know, yeah, I don't know much else there. We're going to skip rolling this round because we're right before the PvE round, so we'll collect some interest. We're at high health as well. If we were obviously at 20 or below health, we'd roll down to 0, even though it's right before PvE. But since we are not, we're just going to go ahead and greed up our gold. So notice here, Vel'Koz was hitting the Karma this time because we were positioned correctly. It's just because some people, they line up on the left side, some people line up on the right side. It just depends on the player and whether they scout or not. Are we able to take this guy out, though? This Karma is like... okay, for some reason our Vel'Koz was not penetrating the shield until the very end, but I'm glad that he did because, man, look at this item combination. Double Gargoyle Warmogs. Who would have thought that it is like so incredibly tanky? Well, never mind. It doesn't take a genius to figure that out because it's a lot of resistances and a lot of health. But like a level 1 Garen just naked in the front or alone in the front is just tanking everything. We get a Zephyr. Obviously that is very welcome. One of the best items in the late game. I'm gonna drop in this Taric, and maybe we play some 4 Knights or something. We probably drop Leona. We get the Rel 2, which is really nice. Teemo 2. We could probably pick up the Kindred for Mystic if we need it, but we don't have Lux anymore. There's a Karma 2. There's a Knot 2. I don't even know if we need the Knot 2 anymore. It does give us Ironclad, Maybe that's just nice to run, and maybe we could replace Tarek with a different legendary. Not really too sure. Oh, there's Heimerdinger, so we could put him in eventually. He is a renewer, I think. And where did my Zephyr go? Oh, it's not. That's unlucky. It's on the Kindred. So I could have Zephyred his Draven, but I don't know what happened there. It's just misclicks, man. It's okay. It's just TFT. Do we make 10 gold by selling the Luxes? Honestly, not really too sure. Okay, oh man, this Draven is doing a lot of damage. Our Vel'Koz was not able to burst him down, and we don't have a Gunblade, so we can't really do any 1v9 potential. And all right, let's see what else is here. We get a Syndra, but we don't need her. I need to position my Rel better. You generally want Rel on the opposite side of your Vel'Koz. There's the Garen. We need 2-star Garen. We could probably sell this Kale. I don't think we're running Kale at all. Heimer's a good unit just to play in general. Obviously, we missed a Zephyr in the last game. If we Zephyr his Draven, like, we're probably going to win that. And we would have Zephyred our Karma. But what else are we looking for? There's a Lux 2 if I wanted. I don't think I do. We really are just looking for Garen and maybe like a Heimer 2-star. I think just running like 4 Redeemed is fine because, yeah, we have the Redeemed spat. 6 would be nice, but again, 6 Redeemed is more of a mid-game trait. Maybe we even sell this Vel'Koz, put all the items on Teemo. Maybe that's a better thing to do. I do go over that in my guide. You could scroll all the way down and see like sample level 9 capped board. And you'll see that we have Garen 2-star, Volibear, or not 2-star, you can't see the stars on that, but we have Volibear, Garen, Ivern, Nautilus, Syndra, Heimerdinger, and Teemo with all the items. And then we have a Rel and the Karma. Pretty much everything you see on my board here, except instead of Vel'Koz, we have all the items on Teemo. And then we play more defensive synergies. But I think when I was playing this game, I was trying to record gameplay for the Vel'Koz guide. So that's why I kept the Vel'Koz in, even though, like, it's better to put it on Teemo. So just one thing to note there, you know. I got to tell you guys, but like I also got to get Vel'Koz footage for a video. So sometimes I do record for like specific purposes, and this was one of those. But like, yeah, obviously I'm not going to complain about a Vel'Koz carry in the late game. It's still very, very good. It's just better on Teemo, and then I could fit in another random legendary such as Volibear. So the interesting thing about this game is that I haven't hit Volibear yet, so you could play this way and still do fine, and just wait till you hit Voli. Voli is really good because we're running Ivern. That gives him Revenant, so Revenant's just a free Guardian Angel, and that just means he's gonna automatically cast. So all these items are like pretty bad, right? We got Assassin Spat, we got Legionnaire Spat, we got some spare items, but we don't have any spare items, so by default, we are taking Giant Slayer. All the decision making is taken out of our hands, essentially. Thank you, Riot Games. So we sold the Kindred. We're going to slap this Giant Slayer. We're going to check the damage charts. Look at that Teemo damage. He did so much more than Vel'Koz. So we're going to put it on Teemo. We'll roll down a little bit. Maybe we get Heimer 2. There's the Volibear. I'm going to buy it. Unless I get 2-star of him, I'm probably not going to play him over the Vel'Koz because, again, like, I was recording this game to get Vel'Koz footage. But maybe I should have replaced him for the Heimer because Volibear is probably more useful than the Heimer. So I opted for a center Zephyr just because moving him around in the back, the Ivern was a little too hectic. So yeah, I just tried to Zephyr a tank, but I still wanted to keep my Garen in the front line. So that's why it was in such a weird spot. There probably are better spots for him, but again, time's running out, so I just got to drop him anywhere. Garen somehow is in the back row. He must have been thrown by Syndra. So he wasn't tanking for my team, but luckily everyone else is still super tanky. We got the Ironclad bonus against him, which probably did some work. Yeah, he's running Draven and Mordekaiser and Kale. They do like a mix of damage, but a lot of it is physical, and I'm sure Ironclad is what it's called, did some help there. So we are facing Draven again, so we might even want to add in Jax over this Heimerdinger if we end up losing this round, but I don't think we did. I think we win after this one. So just keep your Garen in the front. I'm going to put him closer to his Draven, and then I'm going to try to Zephyr his Mordekaiser or his Warwick. Either will work. Even Viego's a decent Zephyr. Diana's a good one too because she is going to interrupt our Vel'Koz. So if we Zephyr Diana, that means our Vel'Koz is going to not get interrupted. Like, obviously you don't want him to because he shines if his ult stays ulting. He still got interrupted by Thresh. That is my bad. That is why you got to watch out for Threshes. Must not have seen him as I was scouting, but luckily it doesn't matter because we have Teemo 2. We got like the tankiest Garen in the world, and that should be enough to win the game. But yeah, that is a fun Vel'Koz game. We pretty much followed the guide to a T. I did deviate a little in the between early and mid game, but yeah, overall, like, pretty fun comp. I definitely recommend to keep going for this. I think right now it's like in the A tier. It's not S tier because I think like Draven comps are S tier, but yeah, it's still really good if you get a bunch of AP items, and definitely forceable at any elo. Like, there are challengers who just only play one champion, and it doesn't even have to be an S tier comp to force every game because there's so many different variations we could play. Again, if you look on the website, we have like 6 variations. So, and if you guys are new to the channel, like, you guys can subscribe and all that good stuff, but also think about joining the Discord because we have like probably the largest Discord community outside of the official Riot one. So definitely check that out if you want to talk to other players of your level or higher levels, or even lower levels if you want to help people out. And we have a bunch of coaches in there as well. I believe in our coaching section, we do have like some free coaches, but of course you could check out my website for paid ones as well. I don't get anything from those, by the way. It is like purely all the money goes to the coaches. It's just coaches that I bet that are on the site. So yeah, definitely check that out if you want to learn even more about Vel'Koz. But yeah, that's it from me, guys. I will see you all later.